Well, blessed Friday as we come to you with your daily encouragement, and we have arrived at Revelation chapter 19. And so we've been talking about the judgment of the whore of Babylon, and now we've moved into the rejoicing in heaven. Now, you remember the book of Revelation, you travel to heaven at least 7 times, and so this is another one of the turns back up into heaven. Pretty soon at the conclusion of the book, heaven and earth meet together in a new heaven and a new earth. But all the praise in heaven is what we typically imitate, at least in our worship service, the liturgy we use, in the hymn of praise. Either with the angels interrupting the shepherds on that great Christmas Eve, or the angels reminding us what worship in heaven is like. So once again, you'll hear some familiar refrains that I think are important. And we'll go through verses 1 and 2. After this, that is the judgment, I heard what seemed to be the loud voice of a great multitude in heaven. Now, we've had different numbers. We've had great multitude. We've had 144,000. And what I've concluded is both are one and the same. It's just a very large number of perfection of those who are in the multitude. And so I heard with the loud voice of a great multitude in heaven singing, Alleluia, favored word of praise, which just means simply praise Yah, praise Yahweh. Alleluia. Salvation and glory and power to our God. Now, if you go to our Lutheran worship, you'll see that that's typically at the hymn of praise. Salvation and honor and power. Let's think about each of these. Salvation, of course, being right with God, saving people. Glory, meaning you're the thing of supreme glory that we worship. And power, meaning you're almighty. Those three things are kind of the trinity of praise: salvation, glory, and power. One might even include honor in there, but that's the same as glory. Glory, giving honor to what is supreme in our life. To who? Not to the whore of Babylon, not to any other government, not to a false prophet, but to God Almighty. For his judgments are true and just, meaning they're fair and they are real. They're not fake justice, they're real justice. They're not just justice on paper, they are real. And he has judged the great whore who corrupted the earth with her fornication. And of course, we're talking about Babylon / Rome / any other government that imitates these two. And he has avenged her the blood of his servants. Why has he avenged the blood of his servants? Because she allowed them to be persecuted unjustly. That's why the one who is true and just and almighty is judging her, is because God is making things right. Now, mine has a little note here, and that it is his servants or his slaves. Now, that's kind of a thing that we are wrestling with when we talk about living the Christian life. Are you free or are you a slave? Some people look at religion or even Christianity and they would look at it and say, "Ah, that's not for me. There's not a lot of freedom." We just did a drama for our Wednesday night worship service. And it was a gentleman who had recently become a Christian, and then he was wondering about whether he was prevented from doing fun things. And the question was, are they fun things, or are they truly enslaving things? And is this enslavement, this yoke, which is what an animal wears when he's pulling a cart, is this yoke easy? Is this yoke freedom? And Luther had a very famous phrase from A Freedom of a Christian. And it's one of my favorites. It's basically saying that the Christian, on the one hand, is free and subject to no one, and on the other hand, a slave and subject to all. So both and together go together. And so I ask that you Think about that as you worship God today. God bless you. We'll see you next time.